This is Allan here with this amazing S54. Tell us the year,
2002.
2.
Just like the movie.
Yeah, M Roadster. And tell us a little bit about how you found this, because I found that story to be really interesting.
Well, actually, I had been looking for an M Roadster in a 2001 or 2002 for 6 months. And then one lonely Saturday night, my wife found it on the internet, a place near San Diego in Julian, California. We called the owner. He said he had it. We said, don't sell it from under me. And next day at noon, we showed up. The car was better than I thought. We drove it around the hills of Julian. Again, it was better than I thought.
Right.
The next day, the owner allowed us to take it to a BMW dealer. Actually, the following Monday, that is. We stayed a couple of days in the area and took it to a BMW dealer. He checked it out. Everything was good. And in the history of the car, there was one defect. When it was new, they had to recall it because it had a bad clock. I love the car. My grandson is 10 years old, and I'm hoping I can teach him how to drive a manual transmission, and one day he'll be the coolest kid in high school. Starting from the plate out front, you've got a custom plate. The frame is the same color as the car, steel gray metallic. The headlights on regular M Roadsters and Zs are halogen lights. These have been changed to high discharge lights. They light up white like modern cars do today. The obvious thing, you can see the strut that I talked to you earlier about. This comes from a company called Strong, and I have a similar brace like this on the back end of the car and 2 more along the sides. Makes the car very rigid, very torsionally stable, so you don't rattle and roll. It keep things very tight. I also have the Dynon engine management chip in the car, stage 1, and that with what's also called underdrive pulleys, where the water pump and the power steering pump operate more slowly than normal. There's no difference in the performance of the car, but it takes the less horsepower to drive those items and puts the horsepower to the rear wheels where it belongs.
That's where we like it, right?
Exactly. On the interior, there's a lot of little changes you might never even notice. When the convertible top goes down, or I should say when it goes up, it has to lock in place along this header on top. There's an opening here where it locks in. I made my own little covers to black it out, so to the eye it keeps it very clean. It looks continuous. I think I mentioned to you the special pedals that I got to make it. They're more for practicality as opposed to looks, but they do look good. It's a flat color with serrated edges, which keeps, if I don't have the proper shoes, even a slick leather sole, I can still have grip. But I mentioned to you that for heel and towing, I have the accelerator made wider, so I just flip it with the side of my foot rather than doing a funny dance.
Brilliant.
It has a short shift from UUC, the ZHP, heavier and shorter shift knob. One nice thing that I have also is something here called a CG belt. What this does is once you lock yourself into your seat and then pull across your chest, it locks the seating portion in. In other words, when you drive a car for hours at a time, you tend to slide down in your car. This won't let you do that. It keeps you right in the seat.
Nice.
So when you're doing any kind of high-speed maneuvers, you're not bracing yourself with your hands to stay in your seat. It keeps you locked in. Standard M Roadsters and Zs don't have a console. That comes from a company called Leather Z. It also, I also have these pads that also, again, make it a little more comfortable, and they're all leather. In Europe, where in England, where they have right-hand drive, instead of the mirror being adjustable here, it's adjustable on the other side. The little tab on the other side is plastic, but this has been replaced with one in leather. So I get as much leather as possible. You see the wind blocker there, which is a great accessory, and they're hard to find now. I don't even think they're made again. But below it, there's the aftermarket subwoofer, which looks very stock, but it's a great improvement on the original one here.
Right. It kind of reminds me of what they did with the Dodge Viper speakers, but instead of front firing, you got the top firing speaker. It looks really clean.
Here's the boot covering the convertible that's underneath, but the car also has the hardtop that I have at home hanging from my ceiling. Just to the right of the rear view mirror, you can see my radar is hiding.
Oh, right.
And I did something a little different with the installation. I didn't like the idea of the curly wire hanging down and sticking it into the glove, into the cigarette lighter. So what I did is I installed a cigarette lighter in the passenger side under the dash.
Oh, wow.
And the wiring goes along the frame of the front windshield and down underneath, and is plugged in under the dash, which makes it removable if I want to at one time, but it gives me an extra outlet if somebody comes with a computer and wants to just plug up with that.
That's brilliant. Sounds like you got a little bit of James Bond and maybe MacGyver thrown in there with some of the things you've done, but they're really nice classic touches that just really blend seamlessly in with the rest of the car.
I like to customize things, but then sometimes I customize to customize.
If you could do a music choice or a film choice that you would pair with this car,
Something from ELO, definitely.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Very cool.
I think it's called Fire on High.
Nice.
Strong guitars, loud music. That's this kind of car. I like the first 10 minutes of Baby Driver.
There you go.
But
That's a solid pick. We can go with that. Thank you so much, Allan, for the interview.
My pleasure.
Yeah, this was a fantastic tour of an amazing car. And these S54s, folks, you don't find them too often.
no, they only built them 2 years in the Z-type car. In 2001, there are 921 of them, and this is a 2002. There's 643.
Wow.
So less than 1,600 production total.
Yeah.
And given time of 20 some years, probably half of that still are alive because natural attrition, you know.
Yeah.
People banging them up or crashing them or doing whatever.
Well, I think we can trust you not to do that with this one, right?
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.